Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me on this last Tuesday of the month. Hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. We're going to turn our sights now on Christmas with a visit from Augusta Ballet and a preview of next weekend's big holiday tour of homes. Also, bridging the technology gap. Melanie Holmes, who's been on this show before, lets us come along as she meets with a client who is determined not to be outdone by her smartphone, iPad, and computer. But first, a look at a mysterious and debilitating illness that strikes suddenly and robs people of the joy of life. Jennifer Bray is about to marry the love of her life when she's struck down by a fever that leaves her bedridden. When doctors tell her it's all in her head, she turns her camera on herself as she looks for answers and fights for a cure. She discovers a hidden world of millions confined to their homes and bedrooms by myalgic encephalomyelitis, commonly known as chronic fatigue syndrome. So what is ME? It's a systemic neuroimmune condition. An estimated 15 to 30 million people have this. Many don't even know they have it. Researchers believe ME is triggered by a virus. It's gone by many names since the 1930s: atypical polio, Icelandic disease, royal free hospital disease, ME, and most recently, chronic fatigue syndrome, a name that has inflicted its own sort of perceptual harm. Take a look at this. The treatment of today's ME CFS patients is comparable to that of lobotomy patients decades ago. When the full history of ME CFS is written one day, we will all be ashamed of ourselves. And that's from a Norwegian doctor who's a professor of pediatrics and an advisor to the World Health Organization. Watch the trailer now for Jennifer's movie, Unrest.
I don't know what I did to myself. I don't think I can get up off the couch. I feel like my brain is misfiring.
Sometimes I wouldn't be able to speak.
Wow.
If you say too little, they can't help you. And if you say too much, they think you're a mental patient.
The doctor would tell me, "You're just dehydrated." Everyone gets stressed. Then I went online and found thousands of other people just like me.
Yeah, I'm completely bedridden.
It's like I'm just watching my life disappear.
I have ME, CFS, that's chronic fatigue syndrome.
Historically, you can see illnesses very similar to this called many different things.
Saw someone collecting the other day for ME. That's the one where don't feel like going to work today.
It's gonna pass.
Okay.
Chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah, I'm tired too.
When medicine has no answers for you, where do you turn?
Oh my God.
It's like the craziest high school science experiment you've ever done.
Just because it's crazy doesn't mean it's wrong.
You're looking at this camera.
I started filming more and more people all over the world from my bed.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
You know what it is about being observed? Is that people feel sorry for me.
Baby, I'm so sorry.
I have the strength of a mountain.
We're kind of both organizing a day of protests as well as organizing individual protests.
All of those things, those really simple things.
There's the sun.
That life was gone, but here I have this new one.
And I'll take all you throw at me.
And I have to fight for it.
Jennifer says she produced the movie Unrest in order to offer hope and visibility to those who suffer alone in dark, silent rooms. A North Augusta woman, Marcy Myers, is one of many ME patients who have experienced uncertainty, confusion, and even disbelief from the medical community and society as a whole. And Marcy joins me today. And Marcy, I know it is not easy for you to get out. You have days when you can't at all. We're lucky that today you could and that your friend was able to get you here. I am really interested to get your story because you're someone local here who suffers with this, which is portrayed in the movie Unrest. You had a medical background.
Yes, I still try and keep up with it, but yes, I did. I had a BSN from what was called Medical College of Georgia back then. was working for South Carolina Department of Corrections as a nurse manager for 2 state prison clinics, 800 inmates, a lot of responsibility, which is something you find with CFS patients, that the vast majority of them were very, very busy people, a lot of them very intelligent people, rocking and rolling in their lives at that point in time. And then from one day to the next, for myself, I suddenly had this rasping in my lungs that you could feel just by putting your hand on my back. But
so,
I wasn't
when
ill.
we hear you take a deep breath now, that sort of sound? Yeah.
Right.
How old were you when your symptoms started?
I believe I was about to be 39.
Oh my goodness! And you had a child?
Yes, who was 7 at the time, 8 at the time.
So the first thing was the raspiness that you,
right.
you could.
But I wasn't ill.
Okay.
I was just this noise, and I was given an antibiotic, and then my physician at the time did more lab work, and he did viral titers, and all my titers were off the charts. But I did not actively have a virus like mononucleosis or CMV or the humans HSV, the herpes simplex virus, which comes in many, there's probably 15 different kinds of them. But my body was reacting to viruses, but none of them were active. And so from the get-go, feel like there's a viral connection for me at any rate. And I had a low-grade fever from 99.8 to 100.5. Not 105, but 100.5. Right. Yeah, but that'll leave you feeling terribly miserable with 24/7 having that kind of a fever. And that went on for 20 years. And for the past about 4 years now, I am without fever, which has just enormously...
That's improved your life?
Oh, yes, just not having the fever.
Well,
I still have the fatigue and the short-term memory problems and all the rest of it. But
when does the fatigue become debilitating? I mean, when do you get to the when do you just get to the point
that's
where you
the word,
just say,
that's
okay,
the word
when do you
everybody
crash?
uses.
Okay.
They call it crash for some reason. If I have too many people or circumstances being pushed at me, so to speak, too many choices. It can even be good things, like a surprise birthday party. It doesn't have to be negative, but too much stimulus incoming. And if I can't somehow circumvent and have less stimulus, then I will crash. And for me, it's more of a mental. Some people have a lot of problems with physical, like if they go walk around the block, it'll make them crash. I myself don't have such an issue with the physical. I have an issue more so with the mental, too many thoughts, too many things to think about.
You just can't process it
that
all.
I can't process any of it.
I want to read you something, Marcy. I want you to take a look. I became ill after a high fever and eventually bedridden. At first, doctors couldn't diagnose me and later began telling me that either there was nothing wrong with me or that it was in my head. As I began searching for answers, I fell down this rabbit hole and discovered a hidden world of thousands of patients all around the world. And Marcy, you also, through social media, have found many, many other people who suffer with this.
It's thought that in excess of 1 million people in the United States have CFS-ME, 17 million worldwide is the best statistical guess right now. Most people have not been diagnosed, which is part of the reason that I'm here to hopefully increase public awareness of what is chronic fatigue syndrome, because it's not... Go ahead.
Well, when you have trouble making a doctor believe you, as you have experienced, where can people turn? It's like the husband said in that clip, you say too little and they don't take you seriously. You say too much and then they think you're a mental patient.
There are physician groups in Augusta that will not see a patient if they have a diagnosis of CFS. They won't see them. And if you are trying to get diagnosed, say you have the symptoms of CFS, and you helped me with this several years ago, going to family practice at medical college and speaking with the then director of the family practice clinic. He didn't even know what the acronym CFS stood for. None of his physicians, and that's where most people's entry level is in the system, is to family practice, and none of the physicians knew a thing about CFS. And at the same time, I was walking around asking junior and senior medical students, and they knew nothing about it. And come to find out, it's not being taught in medical universities yet. So we have 1 million people looking for a diagnosis, and it does have an ICD-10 code, you know, a medical code on insurance, yes. But so many physicians just disregard it, and they don't know. So if you look up the symptoms to CFS and you truly believe that you fit into that category, of course they eliminate all the other possibilities, just like with a lot of other diseases.
Gotta rule out.
Parkinson's
You have to rule out.
And some diseases are rule out.
Right.
You rule out all the other things, and then you come up with the diagnosis, and that's what it is with chronic fatigue syndrome right now. Now, the research has found a lot of things that are not right, but they haven't found what started it, what caused it. It's strongly believed to be genetically, have a genetic propensity, but then an environmental factor has to set it off. There's been people that have talked about having a car wreck and developing it consequent to the car wreck. So it's not always a high fever virus circumstance, although most of the time that's what people will describe.
Yes. Well, we could talk about it all day. We're running out of time. But we do hear about, you know, chronic pain, or we hear about fibromyalgia, the mysterious pains. And this CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, is right up there in that whole mysterious category. But I know, like you're saying, for you, it's harder because you don't necessarily have the physical pain. It's just the inability.
And most people do. I'm wondering if it's not because patients go to their physician, and either you're going to go in and they'll only let you complain about one thing generally. So you're either going to say you're fatigued or you're going to say you're in pain. And depending on what your initial complaint is, I think that's how a lot of people end up being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, when fatigue is a large component of fibromyalgia.
Well, Marcy, you're really brave to talk to us, and if any doctors or medical folks out there are watching and you want to talk to Marcy, just contact me and I'll tell you how you can get a hold of her. Marcy Myers,
thank you.
You keep campaigning.
Thank you.
You keep fighting for it.
Thank you so much.
All
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Still ahead on Jennie, it is the great divide between young and old. Technology.
It's a lot to learn for us seniors.
Meet a woman who